Hey everybody, it's Rob. I'm back. We're doing another Hack the Box walkthrough. This time we're doing a machine called Job. It is a Windows machine rated as medium, and boy, this one was tough, at least for me. So without further ado, you can see I'm on Hack the Box's VPN, and I have Job spun up, and here's the IP address. Now, first thing we did was ran an mmap scan, and we did a service version detection T4 aggressive, and not on all ports because Hack the Box has been a bit slow for me. And what came back was email, so 25. HTTP, it looks like there's this job.local, so we're going to want to add that to the host file. 445, 3389, and 5985, which is evil WinRM, could potentially come into play, maybe not. So the first thing that we should probably take care of is getting this job.local into the etc host file. So we just type sudo nano etc hosts, and I just accidentally hit enter, sorry. And let me get rid of this one. And let's add the IP address, which is 10.179.129, sorry, .234.73 tab job.local. So we'll do a Control O to save and Control X to exit, and we'll exit out of here. Now, if you go to the website, jobs.local, and we can even do HTTP job.local, and we're at the website. Now, this is one of those front-end cardboard websites again. Not a whole lot going on here. I looked at the source. I did an interest of keeping this video relatively short because there's a lot going on in it. I'm going to tell you some of the things I tried that didn't really pan out. I tried go busting. That was nothing interesting came back. I also tried to do subdomain hunting with FUF, and nothing interesting came back there. So I think what they're really trying to push you towards here is this: please send your application to career@job.local. We recently switched to using open source products. Please send your CV as a LibreOffice document. So obviously this is going to be one of those CTFs where you have to do some kind of phishing, where we're going to be sending an email to career@job.local and hope the admin is clicking. Okay, so the first thing that I had to do, obviously on Kali, LibreOffice is not installed by default, and I hated the fact that I had to install it on the machine, but I did have to install LibreOffice, and you can just do that with sudo apt install LibreOffice. Okay, it's going to be critical that you have LibreOffice on here. I can't think of another way to create the phishing document that actually works. I did try, and this again is just in the interest of time, to use the Metasploit module that does this, where it'll create a malicious ODT file and, you know, basically serve up a reverse shell from your locally hosted machine and connect back to an interpreter session. You might be able to get it working. I was not able to get that working. The thing that I was experiencing was the host was never pulling down the exploit from the website. So I don't know if something was configured incorrectly or what, but I just could not get it working. So I bit the bullet and I installed LibreOffice. Okay. So the way this is going to work is, because this is a Windows machine, my thought was to do a phishing email that sends over Netcat, and then do another phishing email that basically launches a reverse shell using Netcat. Now, I'm going to show you this really quickly. I have these documents prepared already in the interest of time. But this was a pain in the butt. I tried certutil, I tried everything. I finally had some success with invoke web requests to get the netcat binary over to the machine. which is weird because when you get a shell, I used CertUtil several times and it worked just fine. So, it's just one of those things that you got to adjust on the fly. So I'm going to open up, I have two files here, resume and resume2. Now resume is the one that's going to copy over the netcat binary, and resume2 is the one that's going to actually invoke the reverse shell using the netcat binary. So the way you would do this is you'd open Office LibreWriter, and I'm just going to open this first file. And I already have macros in here, so I'm getting this warning, and you can just ignore this. I was trying to even create a temp directory, but I finally figured out that I was able to copy files to user public. So what you're going to do with this file is you're going to first go to Tools, and then you're going to go to Macros, and you're going to go to Organize Macros, and you're going to do Basic. Okay, I'm going to show you this one time on this document, and then I'll just show you the code in the second document. So when you click on Basic, I actually created this resume ODT macro, and if you double click on it, I just created a new macro under it that is called Open. Okay, and if we edit this macro, there's some code in here. And the only code that I added was this shell command. When you create a new macro, it automatically has submains and end sub there for you. So I did shell, and this took forever too. Like I tried to just do invoke web request, that didn't work. I tried PowerShell.exe invoke web request, that didn't work. Like I said, I tried CertUtil, that didn't work. Ultimately, this is what worked for me. Now, you may have more success with other commands, but basically this shell is running command and executing the command PowerShell invoke web request. And actually, I have to change my IP address, I believe, because my IP address has changed since I've done this machine. So it's 14 now. And then I have the netcat binary, which I've named ncat.exe. And then we're creating the out file ncat.exe in users public because we can write to users public. We don't know any users on the system yet, so we don't have any access to the system. I did try creating a temp directory and copying files there, but it's hard to tell because I didn't know if it was being created or not because there's no feedback. When you launch this, you will actually see the admin click, well, you'll know the admin clicked on the email because you'll see the web request pulling netcat, okay? So again, just to walk through these steps, we're gonna go Tools, Macros, Organize Macros, Basic. You're gonna have your resume.odt, whatever you name the file, and then you wanna create a new macro called Open, right? You wanna put this code in there, okay? The next part you have to do, which stumped me for a while, and I didn't realize this, why my stuff wasn't working. You have to go to Tools, Customize, right? And then you have to select Open Document and assign the macro that you created, right? So if I double click on this, I'm assigning that macro to it, okay? If you don't do this, it's not gonna work, okay? So let me just show you that again. Tools, Customize, and then Open Document, and you assign the macro you just created to occur as an event when the document is opened, okay? So I'm just gonna click Cancel. That is the first document that I'm gonna be sending, okay? We do want to save because I changed the IP address. Okay, let's just double check that because now I'm paranoid that the IP address is going to be wrong. So macros, organize macros, basic, resume, standard, open, edit. Okay, and my IP address is correct. Now we're going to open the second document, and you're going to do the same exact thing. Tools, macros, organize macros, basic. You're going to create a new macro, and you can call it whatever you want, but I call it Open. Edit. Now, all this one's doing is, and I have to change my IP address here as well. This is invoking netcat on the machine, the netcat binary on the machine that we just dropped off with the first email. And we're connecting back to our machine on 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And again, you got to go to Tools, Customize, and make sure you assign that macro in the open document. Otherwise, this will not work, and you'll be very frustrated. Okay? So let's save this, and we'll click Exit. Now, once you have these documents created, what I did was I just tried to have everything in this one folder because it just made it easier. So you can see I have ncat.exe, I have resume ODT, and I have resume2 ODT. Okay, so we're going to open a terminal here. And what we're going to do is I'm actually going to split top bottom, and then I'm going to split left right here. So for this one over here, if you remember, we need a listener on 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to do netcat NLVP on 1, 2, 3, 4. Over here, we are going to start a web server. So Python 3 on 80. Okay. Now down here, we're going to use a program called Send Email. I believe it's on Kali by default, although I do use PipMyKali, so I don't know if PipMyKali puts it on there. I'm pretty sure it is on there. Okay, and there's a specific format for the way that you do this. Okay, I'm going to copy this and I'll show you. So we have send email from me, right, to career@job.local, and then we have the IP address, which I'm just going to make sure is correct, and it is. That is the target. The subject is hacker resume. The body is here's the resume, here's the requested resume, and then the attachment is resume ODT. This is the first one we're going to send over. So hopefully, once this happens, we'll know when the admin has clicked on the link because we should see something served up on the HTTP server. Okay? So I'm going to cross my fingers and hit enter. And it may take a minute or two. It takes about 25 seconds to actually send the email. Okay, the email was sent. So now we just got to wait and see what happens. And we'll see. If it doesn't, yep, there we go. So it grabbed netcat. That is a very good sign. If you see that, you know your phishing email was successful. Okay? So now, what we're going to do is we're going to queue up that second email. This is the one that actually executes the netcat reverse shell using the binary that we just dropped onto that machine. Okay? It's the same command basically. All we're changing is basically resume to resume2.odt. So you can see it's the exact same command except for resume2 ODT. Okay, so we're going to hit enter, and then hopefully once the admin clicks on the email, we should get the shell. So we'll see. Okay, email has been sent. Now we just got to wait probably 25, 30 seconds and see if we get a shell. I spent so much time on this box. And there we go, we got a shell. I was literally jumping for joy when that happened. I'm telling you, I spent probably a good 2 to 3 hours just messing with those LibreOffice files. just to try to get them to work. My first problem was I couldn't even get the netcat binary pulled down. So this is just fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the screen down here, and I'm just going to move this down, and then I'm going to move this over so that we're looking at this actual reverse shell. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say, who am I? Priv. And unfortunately, we don't have anything. I mean, we literally have nothing. There's the change notify and the increase working set privilege, which is not that great. And it didn't actually give me... Okay, we're Jack Black. Great, I love Jack Black. All right, so let's first and foremost see if we can go to the home directory. Not home. This is how you know it's been a long week. I'm trying to do Linux commands. It's not home. So it's cd c users. And we'll do a dir. And there is a folder for Jack Black. So let's cd jack.black. See if there's a flag in here that we can take a look at. So cd desktop. Do a dir. Yep, we got a user.txt. So let's type user.txt. And there's the user flag. Now, I tried a lot of enumeration. We'll do our normal stuff here. We got history. History. Good Lord. I keep thinking this is a Linux box. You're going to have to bear with me, guys. I apologize. I started to do a lot of enumeration. I was poking around. I did run WinPeas. WinPeas didn't really give me anything, to be honest. The only other thing I can do, which I did later on after I ran into a bunch of dead ends with WinPeas and everything, is do a who am I, right? And do a /all so we can see maybe what groups Jack Black is in. All right, so he's in everyone. Now this could be important. Job developers. Okay, everything else looks pretty normal. So this is important. I'm going to be honest with you. Is this job developers? Okay. So if we, like I said, I ran WinPeas. I didn't see anything. So, you know, you guys may see something if you look through it, but I didn't see anything that stood out to me that was, you know, hey, this is the way in. So what I did was whenever I'm on a Windows machine and I'm stuck, I usually just go back to the C drive and just start working my way forward through stuff. So if we do a dir, we see there's this EFI, which I've seen that plenty of times, perf logs, program files, users, windows, all very much the same, right? The one thing that I will say that is different is this inet pub, right? That is because this is running a web server. So if we go into cd inet pub and we do a dir, we have custer, device health attestation, history, logs, temp, and then www root, which is the root of the file server. Let's see if we can get in there. The fact that Jack Black is in the developers group kind of gives me a hint that he probably is going to have access to this. Now, the way I figured this out was I just ran iCackles on this. So this is basically querying the ACLs on the directory that you indicate. So the way you do that is iCackles, and then you just give it the directory that you want to find out about. So inet pub www root. And if you look right here, if you need help with figuring out what all of these mean, I'm actually going to include a link in the description below from Microsoft's Learn platform. They have a description down here of what all of these mean. And F means full access. So we're in good shape. We have full access to the website. To me, that means that we could potentially do something like, you know, I don't know, a web shell or something like that. I don't know if it's, you know, something that's possible or not, but I would definitely want to do some more investigation on this, okay? So let's do this. Because we're Jack Black, I think if we execute a web shell on the web server, that's more than likely going to give us a different account to probe, right? So let's do that. Let's come over here. Let's open this up here. And let's kill this web server, because I think we're going to want to get command ASPX over here. So if you don't know, Kali includes a bunch of Windows binaries as well as shells. So you just go to your computer, file system, user, let's see, share, and then scroll down to the bottom. And then here's web shells, and then there's Windows binaries are here too. So right here, here's Windows binaries, and here's web shells. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to ASPX. We're going to copy this, and we'll just drop it in the Kali folder. Paste. Okay? So we got command ASPX. We're going to go back to our shell here. And what we'll do is we'll do an ls, so I can grab this, copy, and then we'll start a Python web server again. All right, so we're serving that up. Now, what I think I'm going to do here is I don't think I'm going to be able to write here. So I think what I'm going to do, well, I can write here because I have full access. So I think we should be able to do it from right here. So let's give it a whirl. We'll do cert util, URL cache, TACF for file, HTTP 10.10.14.14, and let's paste in that command ASPX, paste, and we'll just call it, what do we want to call it? Command.aspx. Let's just call it command ASPX. Looks good. What did I do wrong here? I spelled cert util wrong. So cert util. Sorry about that. But we'll just copy this because I don't want to have to type it again. Paste clipboard. All right, so now if we do dir, we have command.aspx up here. So now I think all we have to do is command ASPX. Hit enter. All right, and there we have our web shell. So now we can just simply use the same command that we used in the resume2 ODT file, which is the netcat that we dropped the binary over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. But before I hit execute, we obviously, there's a couple of things we need to do. We need to kill this, okay, because we need 80 again. And then we're going to come back to this one, and we're going to do a netcat on 80. So now our netcat listener is listening, and our web shell is ready to execute. Let's click execute. That is a good sign. It's hung. So let's see what it is. See what's what. All right. Now here's the moment of truth. Who am I? And we're IIS app pool, default app pool. Okay, great. So we're not Jack Black anymore. So let's do a little bit more probing. We'll say, who am I? Priv. Oh boy, here we go. We definitely have the impersonate privilege. Let's see system info. This is Microsoft Windows Server 2022 data center. We could probably do some kind of like potato-ish attack. I decided what I was going to do was I was going to use print spoofer. So here's the link to the GitHub for print spoofer releases. So what we're going to download is we're going to download print spoofer 64. Okay. So we're going to hit enter and that's downloaded. So now what we're going to do is we're going to drop this in our Kali folder. Okay. So we have print spoofer 64.exe now. Okay. So okay, we're good. We don't have any other web servers running. So now what we're going to do is we're going to open another terminal. We're going to do an ls because I definitely don't want to type that. And we're going to start another web server, Python 80. We're going to copy this. Go back to our shell. And what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to go cd C, and I'm going to see if I can just make dir temp. Okay, cd temp, and then we're gonna grab the print spoofer now. So I have this copied, so you don't have to watch me struggle. So we have certutil URL cache file. We're grabbing print spoofer 64.exe from our web server. And then I just named it pspoof.exe, okay? So we're going to hit enter, and hopefully it's going to pull it down, and it does. So let's do a dir, and pspoof is there. So now to do this, the commands are very simple. I believe they even give you some examples here. Let's see. Yeah, you just need tac-i, tac-c, and then the command that you want to run, okay? So if we go to our shell, I'm just going to drop this command in here, and hopefully we should have an elevated shell. pspoof, tac-i, tac-c, and we're just running command.exe. All right. It says found privilege, se impersonate privilege, named pipe listing, create process as user, and we're good to go. So let's see, who am I? And we're NT authority system, and there you go. So we'll go cd c users administrator desktop dir, and there's the root.txt, so we'll type root.txt, and there's the flag. So this machine was super tricky for me. It took me several hours. That really worries me, because if I ever do plan on taking this OSCP, man, you have to basically take advantage of 5 or 6 machines in 24 hours, and you know I can't be spending 7 hours on a single machine. But every time I do these things, I learn a little bit more. So anyway, I hope you found this video useful. I hope you learned something. All the links that I use will be in the description below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, just want to say hi, drop a comment, let me know somebody's watching. Just drop a comment below. I'll be happy to have a chat with you. Just a reminder, I did stand up a Discord server. Anybody's free to join. You can post your content, ask questions. Right now, it's just me and a bunch of bots. So if somebody wants to join, that would be great. Otherwise, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.